Hey guys, Albert here, Realtor with Home Smart Professionals. We're gonna do these a lot now, town spotlights, and we did a small video about East Greenwich. We're gonna go a little bit more detail here. We're talking about East Greenwich today. We're gonna cover as much as we know. We have our influencer, one of our favorite influencers here, Melissa Delana. She's an attorney. Her office is right on Main Street. She lives in East Greenwich. Her kids go to school in East Greenwich. She works in East Greenwich.
I was born in East Greenwich.
I mean, we could just end. I could just leave right now, and Melissa could take over.
But you know, sometimes you don't really understand what you know, so it's great to have someone to help me through answering any questions that someone who wants to move to East Greenwich would be able to delve into.
So I'm going to pretend to. Basically, I'm going to have the mindset of a buyer who's thinking about moving here.
Awesome.
And then you're going to educate us about things, right? So from what I'm seeing, like the first thing that always comes up is the school system, you know.
Hands down. I know we've talked about this in other videos. East Greenwich has always rivaled in the top 1 or 2 or 3. You know, Classical is always up there, and Barrington High School.
Yeah.
We have Blue Ribbon Awards that East Greenwich has had. I really, really cannot say enough about the school district, honestly. I'm a product of the school system, although I didn't start in my elementary career in East Greenwich. I finished high school in East Greenwich and graduated a long time ago, 1997. Go Avengers. And my kids are actually in the school system now at Frenchtown Elementary. And I think one of the things that I've seen as a difference as a parent in East Greenwich compared to other school districts where my children were placed previously is the amount of involvement that you get from the leaders. Even the principal will email me about issues, especially because my son has a learning disability. So, and East Greenwich is known for that. When you have children that need special education or additional services, you're going to get it. There's certainly a financial opportunity that East Greenwich has that a lot of school districts may not have. And you also, I think, have a higher parent or ratio of student teachers. Generally speaking, you're not going to have the same congestion that you may have with a city school. So we've really had very good experience.
Would you mind speaking a little bit on the financial opportunity?
Yeah. So East Greenwich, I think, generally speaking, as far as a community is concerned, is pretty known to be wealthy. Higher net worth earnings that you'll see from the individuals. There are people there, even people that I went to high school with, people that are in my surrounding neighborhood that are sort of a who's who as to what their career opportunities are, what they do, who they know, the amount of funds that they earn. But I still think it's very down to earth.
Yes.
You know, there may be some people that are a little uppity, but you know, you're going to find that in any community. Some people are just jerks. But
I asked you that for a reason because yes, so it's part of it, right? But obviously people move to East Greenwich, they move for certain reasons. Like right now we're dealing with 3 buyers who are considering making a move this year, and all 3 of them have a different reason. One of them, they like the properties that East Greenwich has, so they want a classic East Greenwich home.
There's not many of them.
Yes, exactly. There is not. The other one, they're moving here from Texas.
Okay.
And schools, it was the number one thing.
Totally.
And then we have another one. Literally, the reason why they're trying to move, they live in Cranston right now.
Okay.
They live in a $900,000 house, and the reason why they want to move to East Greenwich is Main Street.
Well, Main Street's fantastic.
Exactly, right? So, like, I asked you for that because people move there for those reasons, and they're willing to pay the price. They're happy with the taxes. I don't know if we can call it happy, but they understand where the money's going. And then, obviously, with education.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. Even though the taxes are high, they are high everywhere. And, you know, if you know that you're getting a good education and good municipal services, isn't that worth something?
Yes.
So for me, when we were considering moving and talking about putting our boys, staying where we were and putting them in private school, I said, or we could just pay East Greenwich taxes and get a very good education. Granted, it's a public school education, but that's something that I'm actually a proponent of over private school personally, just with my own experiences in my academia. So I definitely think that most people tolerate the taxes pretty well because the town does have so much to offer.
Yeah, I agree. Just a couple of quick facts. The median home value in East Greenwich is obviously like everything else, has gone up. It's 590,000. But if you really think about it, right, and that's why we're getting so many out-of-state people. 590,000 for the premium things that East Greenwich offers.
It sounds low to me.
It really does, but honestly, it is.
Yeah.
Right? It is. Like, look at, like the buyers that are moving here, they're moving here from Austin.
Mm-hmm.
The houses that they're looking to buy here compared to what they have there are almost double in size.
Yeah.
Right. So because Austin has just gone crazy. Right.
Yeah.
So my point is, it's still, for the amenities that East Greenwich offers, $590,000 is not. It's good.
I think it's a deal.
It's a steal. It's a steal. It's a steal. That's right.
I mean, I don't want to be in a ranch for $590,000 with one bath and 3 bedrooms. Yes. So thankfully and there are still plenty of those houses. Yeah. In fact, my starter home, it was a ranch, no garage, 2 beds, 1 bath. It was awesome.
It's perfect.
I'm actually mad that I sold it because it would have been a great rental opportunity. It would have been a nice opportunity to have an in-law. If somebody wanted to move closer for my husband's family.
Absolutely. All right. A couple of other things. Very low in crime. One of the lowest in the state.
Surprising, right?
Yeah, exactly. Population is slightly over 13,000 people, right? And also, I don't see that here, but I do know that it's, like you mentioned earlier, is one of the highest net worths in the state. Barrington is up there, Newport, North Kingstown, but I know that East Greenwich is there as well.
I think the other thing, Albert, that makes East Greenwich very desirable, and I've always called it the center of the state, because it's so close to everything. Yeah. You're 20 minutes from Providence, you're 20 minutes from Newport, you're right on the water because you've got the harbor district there. Certainly with the MBTA opportunities and the train stop in North Kingstown now, I mean, that's 10 minutes depending on where you are in East Greenwich. I'm west of Route 2, so I'm in the deeper end of East Greenwich. It takes me, 5 minutes to get down to the light, but what am I, 12 minutes from the MBTA? It's great. Yeah. So I really do think that it's a nice proximity. Mm-hmm. So it offers, I think, kind of a good rural opportunity for people who don't want to be in too much of a congestion. Yeah. But at the same time, you're still very close and have a lot of the amenities of closer to city living.
100%. There's a couple of things to do.
There's just so much stuff to do, especially if you have a young family. Going anywhere with young kids is a little bit of a contact sport.
Yes.
You have to decide if you want to do it. But there's hiking trails. I mean, it's proximately located to Goddard Park, which is technically Warwick and Potawatomi. But still, that's a great place to go and just let the kids exercise and run. There are actually walking trails in East Greenwich that are part of the Parks and Recreation Department that have been developed that coordinate with some of the schools. All of the schools have really excellent park areas so that you can take the kids on the swings, and a lot of people do. You just go for a walk and people are out there doing their thing with their kids on any of the school fields, any of that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Main Street's a great place to walk. There's coffee shops, great restaurants, even just shopping, so that you can, again, kind of get some exercise in, take a look at what's around and what the town has to offer.
Yeah, totally. There's I also am noticing lately there's a lot of buildings that are being either torn down and rebuilt or just completely renovated.
Yeah, so Main Street's very interesting because it's part of the historic district.
Yes.
So anything on Main Street, signage is really crucial, what kind of materials are being used, because they really want to make certain that it's being restored within the time periods that are appropriate. Yeah. So you're seeing a lot of renovation coming into the area. There was a time where a lot of the storefronts were empty. A lot of the restaurants didn't have anything. And now we're seeing everything's really being rebuilt, and it's exciting. There's not a shortage of places to eat or hang out go, which I think is another really good reason to be wanting to invest in East Greenwich.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
And we get to see it all. We've got the bird's eye view, right? Because I'm right on Main Street in East Greenwich.
Yeah.
So we don't walk into the town a whole lot from work, but
maybe
we're there.
Yeah. Honestly, every time I have a closing, right after or before, I try to stop at some coffee shop.
Yeah.
And get a bagel and get a coffee. It's great. I love it. It's something about that street that just kind of it screams it's going to be okay. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's kind of quintessential small town feel New England.
Yeah.
But again, you hop 20 minutes down the road and you're in Providence. In an hour, you're in Boston. It's just, I think I had told you this previously, but I had a realtor say to me over the summer, Rhode Island as a best kept secret has been exposed. And it's true. I mean, there's been a ton of transplants coming into Rhode Island because of all of these really great attributes, specifically East Greenwich.
Yeah, that area, like starting East Greenwich and all the towns up to Newport, I think it's only the beginning for those towns. I think people are just moving, and they're going to keep moving. Just like, I know we're talking about East Greenwich, but like just what's happened to Narragansett, right?
Absolutely.
It's all that New York money that's coming in, just buying everything.
And relatively speaking, our prices are low compared to New York or even Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It's easier for people to start putting down roots here, and they're still very drivable to wherever they need to go.
Yes.
And especially with the telecommuting that, COVID afforded everybody. Kind of a silver lining, I guess.
100%. Yeah. Also, think about this, right? Massachusetts' average price point is about $550,000, if I'm not mistaken. It's between $550 and $530.
Okay.
Rhode Island, East Greenwich median price is $570, which is considered one of the most expensive areas in Rhode Island. So now think about that for a second, and think about the buyer who is maybe considering making a move from Massachusetts or New York into East Greenwich. To them, this is a deal.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why if you're even on the fence of moving to East Greenwich because you might feel like you're overpaying, trust me, you're not.
Right.
You're not. You know. So.
The Odium is a really historical property. It's a theater in town. There's no live shows happening there that I know of.
Yeah.
For the most part, although there have been maybe a couple, like tribute bands and things, but for the most part, they're playing old movies there, and it's a really great place to have a venue.
Yeah.
Super, super great. Historical spot.
Yeah.
And there's so much of East Greenwich and Main Street specifically that's changed.
Yes.
Even the Four Corners where my office is right now, directly across the street from us is a Washington Trust Bank. It's beautiful, but there used to be a gas station there. I mean, it's such an improvement. Right? And they did an amazing job with the bank. It is one of the prettiest banks I've seen ever.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so look, Melissa and I can talk about East Greenwich for hours, but we're not trying to bore you. But it's just a full town. It's a beautiful full town with pretty much everything if you think Rhode Island, if you want everything that Rhode Island has to offer and more, East Greenwich has it. If I can put it that way. Starting with school system, which is one of the best right now. I think it's number 2 in the state, but like you said, it's always fluctuates between number 1 and number 2.
And I think honestly, the proof is in the pudding. If you look at the values, even when we've had historical depressions in real estate, East Greenwich has always maintained and sustained better than other communities. Not better than all communities, but better than a lot of communities.
Most communities.
And I think that's the reason for it.
I just told that. I was speaking to a client 2 weeks ago, and I mentioned that. I said it's kind of a triangle. The east side, Barrington, and East Greenwich.
Yep.
They are pretty much in Rhode Island. These 3 areas are market proof.
Right.
And East Greenwich is one of them, right? Obviously, it's going to fluctuate, but it does not mirror the market.
No.
It does not. It has its own economy, and that speaks to the individual that moves there.
100%.
Right? Because most people are not moving there. Most people are buying in East Greenwich. They're not putting 3% down. They're looking 10, 15, 20, or even more, and a lot of cash deals happening in East Greenwich too. So they are pretty much, those people are market proof, people who decide to move there. So that's also a really good point as far as investing / living in East Greenwich.
Yes.
Perfect. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. If you have any questions, call us. I recently did have a client coming in from out of state. They were already renting in Newport, and they said, well, we think we want to live in East Greenwich, but we're not sure, and we need a lawyer, and your office is in East Greenwich, and they didn't even know I was native to the town, and, just got to talking about different areas and, where I thought that they may be best suited, and recommended that they start getting pre-approved, hiring a realtor, going through all the steps because they were just kind of feeling it out, which I think is smart.
Yeah.
If I were ever to move across country or to a different city or town, I don't know that I'd know where to buy. That's the hardest part. You've not even tried it on for size.
Yes.
So hopefully this gives you a little bit of a flavor for the town.
Yeah. And then, if we
come visit.
Yeah. Like if we're going to get some a B-roll about the town, and you're gonna get a feeling about how the town looks like and all that. But that's a good point. I was just in Colorado, in Denver. And to me, like, I was asking some friends there, I'm like, whoa, this looks like a good area to live. Like, no, actually, this is not. This is the area. And it clicked, and now I just remembered when you said, because we live here and we're in the industry, you assume, like, somebody wants to move. I'm thinking about moving to East Greenwich. You're like, oh, great. You don't go into, like, if they're not from here, they don't really understand.
Right.
They don't know where and what's good and what fits their lifestyle. It's a big, complicated move. So hopefully this video helps out.
Yeah.
And then, reach out to us if you have any questions. If you're thinking about moving to East Greenwich, if you're thinking about opening a shop in Main Street, reach out if there's any spaces available. Usually there is none, but we'll help you out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And again, if you have any questions, reach out. Our top influencer, Melissa Delana, and I are out, and we'll see you in the next video.
Take care.
Bye.
Crazy.
Son?
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah, subscribe here. Watch the latest videos over here.